Looks like I hit the jackpot. That's the best.
What's up, guys? Hope you're doing well. Today I'm bringing you a new installment of the training log series, and today we have a very special episode because today we're doing 500 push-ups. I have to tell you to count them all just to make sure that I'm not clickbaiting you. So make sure to count every single rep and tell me how many I got in the comments below. So the way I approach this is a 30 down workout. Thing is, I think I miscounted. You have to keep track of the reps, and I think I did an extra 22 rep set. So for that reason, I ended up getting closer to 500 rather than to 400. Even so, if I just did a 30 down workout, it would be 465 reps, which is still a shit ton, and I could technically claim, if we round up, that I did 500. So with that in mind, I want to tell you that this workout was super fun. I really liked it, and I got dumps for 3 days on my chest and shoulders, not so much on the triceps, but I loved every single set and every single minute of this workout. I also hated it as well because it was painful, it was long in terms of like a long time doing just push-ups and not just resting, because there's a very big difference between doing 3 sets of 15 of weighted push-ups, for example, and doing 500 push-ups. There's a stark difference in terms of the amount of pain tolerance you have, the amount of mental fortitude you have to also push through all of that pain set after set after set. And also you have to be pretty conditioned and you have to be very tolerant to high reps, because if you're not, you're going to finish this workout very early, even though you could have done more, because the pump becomes unbearable, and then you get like this feeling of like weakness in your muscles that is just pure, I would say, disruption, honestly. I really enjoyed this workout for those aspects, and I want to incorporate more of this prisoner style workout doing high reps. The next one is probably going to be inverted rows, just because I want to try out the most basic variation with my feet on the floor and see how much like stretch I get on my upper back, and also because that is the most lengthened biased inverted row variation due to the fact that it's mimicking, if you will, a T-bar row. And when you're doing this style of workouts, you really don't want to be doing a lot of concentric focus movements. I learned that with the push-ups and with the inverted rows one I did before, that I did decline inverted rows, and I did I think it was 20 down, or no, 15 down, 16 down approximately. And I remember that the main problem with those was that you might be able to get a full rep, right, if the movement was like homogeneous, but because it gets harder at the top, you have to either keep a little bit or like finish the workout early, and that really doesn't make sense because you're limiting yourself when you shouldn't be. With concentric focus movements, you want to do partials, but unless you're into BDSM, I don't think you're going to be doing partials on top of a prisoner style workout. So I think that is a better choice to find as uniform movements as you can in terms of resistance curve, and a push-up is just that, even though it's a little bit more lengthened bias, right? And I'm trying to do that with the basic inverted row with just rings, and I want to see how that works. Basically, I think it works best with compound movements. I really I'm thinking and really reconsidering the fact of like, you could do this with isolation. Yes, you could technically, but would that be productive? I really don't think so. So for compounds, basic calisthenics movements, this rocks, especially dips. I think that if you don't want to be doing very long workouts like this one, this took me in total 42 minutes. And what you're seeing right now is just me cutting down the rest times in terms of like a minute. Yeah, I think it was 30 seconds to a minute, and I'm just cutting down all of that. And also the setup of like the tripod and stuff, just so it's more digestible to you. But yeah, it took me 42 minutes, so it took me a while, not longer than a regular like pushing session. I think it actually took less, and it was simpler to do. It was difficult still, but it was simpler to like program. It's just push-ups, a ton of them. Thumbs up, with the dips, you're going to be more efficient with your time, because try doing 500 dips. Unless you're like an elite presser, you're not going to be doing 465 dips on a 30 down dip workout. You're probably going to be doing 20 down, 25 down at most. And if you're heavier, 15 down is going to be a challenge. Like I'm pretty light for, let's just say, my body weight, in the sense of like I weigh 76 kilograms and I'm 5'7", which yeah is heavier if we take into account BMI, but like if we really look at it, it's like I'm very light to be a lifter, right? So that gives me an advantage in this style of like body weight workouts, and that's why I'm bulking, so I can like increase my weight and make basic movements way more difficult. I already made a video on the matter, you can check it out on the channel. It's probably a title card popping up in any second, so you can check that out. I have a lot of good points, but yeah, this workout was pretty good in that aspect. And the reason to why I came across this workout was like I tried to do a push-up AMRAP and I stopped the set early because of the pump, and it was like, man, I could have done like 30 more even, but like the pump was unbearable. So then it was like, yo, what if like I tried to do as many push-ups as I can with rest pause? Because I was in the thought process, you can call it coping if you want to. It was like, man, if I rest pause it, I could probably get like 30 more, probably even more than that. And then I realized, yeah, but if you rest pause it, you would be doing kind of like a prisoner style workout, right? And I was like, what if I do one? And that's when I realized I have to do a prisoner style workout with these, dude. It's just vanilla push-ups. It's like the best movement to do this kind of thing, right? And at that point, I was like, yeah, let's do a 20 down. I was like, that's too easy. Let's try 25 down. And then slowly but surely it was like 27. How about 29? Oh, fuck it, let's just do 30 down. And that's how I ended up doing 30 down push-ups. And not going to lie, I am actually pretty impressed the fact that I was able to finish this workout properly and didn't have to take like extra time. I just went at it, and yeah, I was able to perform it overall pretty well. Of course, there was some technique breakdown, especially in the latter sets, and also I had to rest pause it in a couple of situations because I rested very little in between sets because I'm a fucking idiot and because I thought I was like hardcore. And yeah, I was still pumped, so I went into another set pumped, and yeah, that didn't go well and I had to rest pause it, as you're probably seeing right now. But outside of that, I think that this is a valid way of training, and in fact, I'd say it has its own set of benefits. Now, is it the most efficient thing for hypertrophy? No. It's not going to be as effective in terms of like minimizing fatigue and maximizing the stimulus, but you don't just have to look at the hypertrophy stimulus of a movement. You also have to take into account the other benefits that it provides, because yeah, you're not going to get as much hypertrophy as doing, like, for example, a ring push-up with a slow and controlled tempo for 3 sets of 10. Yeah, you're not going to get that. But you're going to get conditioning. You're going to get metabolic fatigue tolerance. So you're going to be able to not get destroyed by just 3 sets of 20. You're going to be, imagine you can do 500 push-ups and then you have a 3 sets of 30. That's going to be a breeze, right? So it makes sense to incorporate it in the long term, because you have to be conditioned to handle your hypertrophy workouts. Not everything is about stimulus to fatigue ratio. You have to also think about other factors that are going to influence your workouts. With this style of training, you really don't have to integrate cardio, because this is kind of like cardio, just with a hypertrophy tint, if you will, to it, because you're taking your muscles close to failure. But think about it, you're taking minimal rest time, you're doing a shit ton of reps of a compound movement. Imagine doing this with squats. I would say that pretty much replaces cardio in many aspects. It's like doing high intensity interval training. It's just that instead of high intensity, it's like long times of you being intense, right? Of you taking your muscles to failure. So everything has its own set of benefits, and you have to really think about it when you're programming. Because yeah, doing machines and really feeling the contraction and then the stretch and laying on a bench, yeah, it works. It's going to give you the stimulus to grow muscle. But then when you become advanced and you need more, and you need more movements, and you need to incorporate parts of strength training, you need to incorporate some type of calisthenics, you need to incorporate some type of free weighted stuff, and you need to also handle longer workouts and workouts that are going to probably induce a lot of metabolic fatigue, then you're fucked if you haven't done this style of training. And you don't have to do prisoner style workouts. I mean high rep, close to failure stuff. And when I mean high rep, I mean above 20 reps. Because people will be like, oh yeah, I do high reps and it's 20 reps. And it's like, yeah, it's technically high reps, but is it really? Not really. So this is a good approach to combining, I would say, conditioning and hypertrophy training. And at the same time, I would say that you maintain your workouts fresh. You keep your workouts fun and distinct from one another, which makes them interesting because you're challenging yourself in many different ways. So one session you're probably challenging yourself with low rep ranges of like maybe do 4 to 6 with the pull-ups, and then on another session you do like 300 inverted rows, right? It's like a huge contrast. And then the next session, you probably do more cookie cutter bodybuilding style of workouts. And then on the next session, you combine a little bit of both, then BFR and stuff like that. And you keep rotating. Now, do you have to be program hopping? No, not at all. I'm not saying that. You have to keep a structure and you have to keep like a thread of carryover from one thing to another. They have to be overall connected in that regard. You're not going to be doing very drastically different movements, but the way you approach them can be slightly different, or they can be totally different if it's the same movement or very similar. For example, one session you do your full RTO push-ups, then on the other one you do your ring push-ups, and then on the other one you do your dips. So there you have like a complete integrated and very similar type of movements working together to provide you with different benefits. So with the full RTO push-ups, you're going to get mostly intensity because you're not going to be able to be doing like 10 reps of these. You're probably going to be doing like 4 to 6 tops. Then you move on to ring push-ups, which are going to allow you to be more bodybuilder-like in terms of the way you execute things and the way you program them. And then you have dips, by which, man, dips are just so versatile because yeah, you can do them for low reps, but in this context with just body weight, you can do AMRAPs of like 20 to 30 reps and you're going to get pretty good results with that, and they're very effective in that rep range. They're also effective in any rep range, to be honest, but I think that dips for high reps are goated because they are not going to irritate your sternum. You're going to get the benefits of, because remember, the hypertrophy rep range is 5 to 35 in theory, right? I think it's higher personally as I'm doing a 500 push-up workout, but as long as you take your muscles to failure, it should be effective. So you get the benefits in terms of hypertrophy that you would get with weights, right? But you don't get the joint issues. In fact, you fortify them and you're able to properly recruit your muscles with less weight. By what I mean by that is not that magically you're going to feel your muscles when you go to high reps compared to low reps. I'm just saying that you're going to be able to establish a better mind-muscle connection with your target muscle group because, as I previously mentioned in my other videos, dips work the triceps, the shoulders, and the chest equally as good. So if you're doing it with body weight only, you can skew yourself towards more triceps, towards more chest, towards more shoulders. Now, if you strap on like 5 plates and try to do like dips for like reps of 3 to 5, good luck trying to target just your triceps with that or just your shoulders. It's going to be way more difficult in that regard. So going body weight only is going to allow you to establish that mind-muscle connection and how to tweak the movement to make it fit your needs. That's what I do currently. And today I actually have another dips prisoner style session. I'm going to try to do 25 down and see if I can build up eventually to doing 30 down dips. That would be wild. And yeah, of course I have to get heavier as well. And I think that two things competing with one another is going to take me a while. But if I get to 30 down dips weighing 80 kilograms as I plan to, man, the gains should be pretty insane. And I'm really looking forward to it because yeah, I like dips. I like them a lot. And if I had to rank my presses, I have to make a video about this in the future. But up to now, my favorite presses would be in this order. It would be dips, then it would be push-ups, like basic ass push-ups. Then I would say diamond push-ups. And then I would say ring push-ups, like the vanilla version. Then the rest is like a little bit more mixed. I really can't say that I prefer one over the other, but those I would say I can't count, but like 3 or 4 are like, in my opinion, the best presses you can do. And one thing that I also want to mention is that when I used to go to the gym and I used to do like bench press when I was like 15, it never felt right. Once I started with calisthenics, I realized how freely you can move and you can protract the scapula and retract it. I realized the best presses are going to be calisthenics because you're not going to bother your shoulders or rotator cuffs or having to be in a very unnatural retracted position that just feels awkward to do, man. Just feels awkward. So yeah, do your push-ups instead of your bench press. Just my piece of advice. So we're finishing the workout. Those are like the last sets I got in the chamber, and yeah, by that I was like, just fuck this. This hurts. I'm tired. I want to go to sleep. You know, I want to eat a big ass meal before I go to sleep as well. Probably jack off. And I ended up like just laying on the floor for a couple of seconds because I was like, fuck yeah, it finally ended. You know, I'm very happy. And yeah, I really enjoyed the workout. After this, you're going to see that I just get up and that's it. Because yeah, it was challenging, but it wasn't like world ending. But it was pretty brutal, not going to lie. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys like my rant and my explanation of personal style workouts. I suggest you leave a like down below, a comment, tell me what you think. Do you like more videos like this? Support me on Coffee, and as always guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.
Still a teen and made for strange bedfellows. Okay, so it's head to elbows for shell toes.